Hello everybody, this is Hammer Striker here. I've seen a lot of different comments and commentary about the size of the new H9 from Daniel Defense being comparable to a Hellcat and some others, so I'm going to do a quick size comparison. The full review is coming out on Friday, but I didn't want to put this in that video and make that video too long. So to save a bit of time, all of the guns on this table have been cleared by both of us so that there's no loaded weapons on this table. But this is the H9 from Daniel Defense. It's based on the Hudson H9. They bought the rights to it. It is a metal gun, so I'm not going to talk about weight. All of these guns on the table are lighter, but they're not metal guns, they're polymer guns. So I'm really going to focus on the size. So a lot of people are saying that this is the same size as the Hellcat. Well, from a slide thickness perspective, it is. It's a little bit wider than the Hellcat by like 0.1 inches. But when you do overall size, and I've got a Hellcat here, this one has an optic on it, so I'm going to set this aside. This is a regular Hellcat. For the moment, I'm going to use the Hellcat Pro, by the way. I'm going to use the one with the threaded barrel for the initial comparison. What you'll see when I set them side by side, and I'm lining them up beaver tail to beaver tail. You could go slide to slide, but the beaver tail really is part of the length of the gun. You'll see the Hellcat's just a hair taller, but it's significantly shorter, and it's 0.15 inches narrower at the point where you look at things that stick out, like slide stop, slide release, which is very prominent on the Hudson, and that matters when it fits in a holster. So the Hudson thickness is close to a Hellcat, and just so that you can see that it's apples to apples, I'm going to push this Glock out of the way. Here's the one with the optic on it. You'll see that the length of the Hellcat Pro, regardless of the optic and regardless of the threaded barrel, the overall body length is the same. On the one with the threaded barrel, the barrel just sticks out, but everything else is the same. So it's close to the Hellcat, but really when it gets down to what matters when you're trying to do deep conceal, the Hellcat still has an advantage of being smaller overall and thinner overall. The other comparison I've seen is to a Glock 19. So I've got a Glock 45 here and a Glock, actually the 19X. So I've got a Glock 45 and a Glock 19X. They're basically the same gun. And you'll see that, of course, the Glock 19X is thicker. It's a classic double stack size Glock. You'll see the Hudson is shorter from the height perspective, but beaver tail to beaver tail, it's still longer than the 19X and its variants. So the Hudson is a bit of a bigger gun. It's kind of a compact size, but larger. It's just narrower. Here's a Glock 49. This particular one has an optic on it, so if I try to do equal to equal, the 49's a little bit taller. Now, when you get into the 49, because you've got that extended slide, it is a hair longer than the Hudson. A couple others that I've seen it compared to is the CZ-P9, the P9C, or I'm sorry, P10C. And I called this the Hudson. It's kind of easy to do that. It's Daniel Defense. It's Hudson's original design, but Daniel Defense now owns it. So the P10C, from an overall dimensions except thickness, is about the same. The P10C is a little bit thicker. Again, it's that classic double stack. The H9 is just a hair longer. And I'm going to go with a big old thing. You know, I got here an FNX. I'm sorry, this is an FN 509. They look similar when you look at them. And this happens to have the threaded barrel. If I do it beaver tail to beaver tail and I ignore the threaded barrel, just look at the frame, you'll see that the H9 is significantly longer. It actually comes to be about the same length as the 509 with the full threaded barrel. So the Hudson's not a small gun. It's not a light gun. Of course, it's metal, so we don't expect it to be light. But its slide thickness being 1 inch is a little misleading and making you think it's a smaller gun than it is. So hopefully that was interesting, helpful, maybe cleared up some confusion. Beyond that, if you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, click that bell up there to be notified if you do. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Player, Rumble. We're pretty much everywhere. And thank you.